Hi, I'm CJ Elmberg with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. If you are in the market for a pin trailer, we got a really nice Cimarron here behind me. This is a 2025 Cimarron Showstar LX 10 pin. This is a very well equipped, the LX model is a very well equipped model to begin with, but we always throw on some extras. That's just typically how we build them for customers and how customers actually want to just go use the trailer. So before I start walking you through this one behind me here, let's go ahead and take a look at the drawing. I'll point out some specs for you. Again, this is a 10 pin setup here. We did a big front tack room on this one. It's 8-foot front tack room. We're 28.3 on the floor. We're 6'4" tall, we're 8 foot wide. When you go to an LX model, that 8 wide, that 6'4", those are your standard options. With the 10 pin in this one's adjustable. It really helps when you get that extra width versus the really narrow trailers out there. But let's walk you through this. I'm going to point out some standard options, or standard features I should say, on these LXs, and then some of those add-on options that we put on this one here for you. So we'll just start up at the front. Couple things on an LX. We'll show you the side profile of the nose, but this one's gonna have the wraparound style. It's a cleaner look to this. These are good looking trailers. This really sharpens it up by having this. You're gonna get the stainless nose piece and then 3 marker lights on the actual top rail on the front of this nose. We were doing that on a lot of our, really loaded up trailers, bigger trailers, living quarters, big cattle trailers. And then Cimarron went ahead and made it standard. This guy here is equipped with a B&W coupler. Not so much on these trailers here. As we get into the big trailers that maybe they're looking to haul it with a hauler, something along those lines, this coupler really comes into play because it's got the low profile handle, a lower hole drilled into it where we can slide it up actually into this sleeve to really adjust it and make sure this trailer's running level. Again, on these trailers here, not as big of a deal, but they're consistent with a lot of their options and features. So this is standard on all their goosenecks. This thing's rated for 25,000 pounds. B&W, very well, reputable company out there. They teamed up a couple years ago and designed that. We've had about a couple changes. The 3rd generation, we're very, very happy with that. Okay, with the LX, you're gonna get the single leg electric over hydraulic jack by Equalizer. This guy here is a manual override. We're such believers in this as well. We actually like to offer this through our parts and service department for add-ons for customers. Because again, emergency, we can get it up or off the truck or down onto the truck, either way there. Spare tire is located to the left. This is gonna match what's on the ground. We'll show you here the aluminum wheel. We'll talk more about that here in a little bit. With your Equalizer jack, you're gonna get the aluminum battery box. There's room for additional batteries in here if you wanted to add more in here, but you got your 12-volt battery disconnect. So when you park this, we're gonna show you all the lights on this trailer. It's got a ton of them. So if we accidentally leave a light on, it'll drain this battery down. So when you park it, walk away from it, you just turn this guy to the off position, kills power, we're not gonna drain our battery. Now with this setup, fairly new on the 25 models here recently, so not right from the get-go on 25 models, but over the last couple months, you're gonna get this RedArc charger on here. This is a true 3-stage charger. This is gonna give a lot of life and longevity to your battery by keeping it always charged. Your truck is gonna work as a trickle charger to these batteries, very slow. It's really hard to keep them really, charged up at full capacity. When that doesn't happen, that's when, these batteries aren't going to last long. So with this being a true 3-stage charger, it's really going to keep this battery nice and charged up. Also, it's going to tell us if we have power coming from the truck. It's a really good indicator. We actually use test plugs a lot of times when customers come to the lot. Maybe they got a blown fuse, something along those lines. But with this, as soon as we plug it into the truck, we know if we have power coming from the truck itself. The switch for the jack is right here. One of the last pieces is you're going to have these feet that you can actually set a portable generator on, strap it down, so you can set that guy there. And just to the right of this battery box, kind of tucked way up in there, is going to be the actual where you're going to plug your 30 amp cord in. So that's right there. So it's right above your generator. I'll show you why we have this power on this trailer here in a few minutes. But this will give you a good look. There's that wraparound style nose. Again, really good look to it. It's polished. So the top rail, bottom rail, and extrusions on this LX are polished. When you go to an LX model, that is standard. If you want to go, you know, with a mill finish, you can do that. Look, if you live down dirt roads, and a lot of them, you know, a mill finish trailer might be in consideration versus the polish. When you go to clean these trailers up on a polished trailer, you only want to use citrus wash, never acid. It'll burn it, give it a smoky, you know, hazy look. You'll have to repolish it. So on these polished trailers, you're just gonna citrus wash, where on mill finish, you can actually go ahead and acid wash them. Okay, front tack room on this one, we went big. This is almost 8 foot. I know on the drawing it said 7 feet, 11.5 inches. Let's call it an 8-footer. I mean, that's dang near about the size it is. So a lot of storage on this guy. You're gonna get this nice 36-inch wide door. Fold up step. We understand a lot of times you're gonna be dragging, you know, young exhibitors with you, maybe just getting started, going in and out of this tack room. From where I'm standing to this bottom frame of the door, that is a massive step. So imagine carrying everything, your feed, your buckets, anything like that, in and out of this. By having this fold-up step, it really makes the transition really easy coming in and out of the tack room itself. And then as we step into this tack room, that is one thing over the last couple of years that everybody's wanted. I want a bigger tack room. So that's how we're usually building these guys, a little bit bigger options. We've got some standard, you know, maybe like 6-footers. Over the years, the standards were like a 4-foot, then it evolved to a 5, and a lot of our inventory is gonna be a 6 to 8 foot. We can go bigger, we can do mid-tacks, we can do whatever you want in these Cimarrons. That's what's fantastic about them. You're gonna notice, we'll just start back here on the partition wall, work our way around. Very first thing is, you're gonna have a pass-through door, goes into the stall area. So if you need to send a kid in, put on a show shirt, they can hop in here, do that, mixing up feed, doing anything. You can work back and forth between the stall area and this front tack room with that pass-through door. You're gonna notice everything's carpeted, so it's gonna just protect anything that's against the wall, rubbing against it. Up high, we're gonna have 2 sets of utility hooks. So there's 4 hooks per. So this is a utility hook that Cimarron's created. It's aluminum powder coated, so they're really strong and durable. But instead of using our old traditional bridle hooks on the horses, we a lot of times have big cords, big hoses, those type of items. So they really didn't work well. So Cimarron designed these so they've got a ton of depth off the wall, really good spacing between them, and good height. So again, hoses, big cords, anything like that can hook on these and hold up really well. Airliner track, high and low, and we wrapped it around in 2 spots on the partition wall and then down driver's side as well. So what you can get is, if you're bringing, you know, any type of tack in here, any type of equipment, you can actually get some hooks, lock them into place. You can hang feeders, anything like that. This airliner track is really universal, so you can go in like the Amazon and get a ton of different options for you. If you want like some additive bucket holders, Cimarron has made those, and they actually just lock right into the airliner track that's here. So there's some options there that you can work with, but we wanted to give you a lot of floor space on this side. That's why when you look at the boot box itself, we didn't split the trailer in half, but we favored it over to the passenger side a little bit. We did an 18-inch boot box. So if you have bigger items, like bigger buckets, those type of things, you can actually set them in here. The 12-incher, because of the framework, really narrows down, and it's hard to get those items in these. But this is a great place for the stuff that just kind of moves around. You know, you can just kind of toss it in here and kind of keep it somewhat organized. Works as a great step hopping into the gooseneck, or even a bench if you need to hang out in here. 4-inch tube that goes across the gooseneck, so that way when you do throw items up here, they're not going to shift off. But it's really removable. You just unpin and out it goes, so really easy to operate there. But look at the amount of storage you have on this guy. So 8 foot wide. Cimarron noses are a little bit longer than standard, so you have additional storage in here. We went ahead and got you 3 lights up there. There's no windows, you know, in the actual gooseneck itself. So light's really important to be able to see. Again, you're never going to regret having too many lights. I mean, you're going to be able to see everything you want in here. So we put 1 in the middle, 1 on each side. So a lot of light coverage up here in this gooseneck. You're going to notice this gray rubber mat. We did it up on the deck, we did it down the drop wall, and we did it on the floor of this trailer. And the reason why is we've really been incorporating this over the last, you know, probably a year and a half, 2 years or so. It's been very popular here on the show cattle trailers, show livestock trailers, like on the Showstar with our pig, lamb, goat trailers, just because it's sealed at the side. It's not like the rubber mats that can still get dirt underneath it, and it's not carpet on the floor. You're gonna see all the tracks over years. You're never gonna get that smell out. This is the way to go. This stuff is fantastic, really durable, but again, just it's gonna be a lot easier to clean up. I mean, we had some customers order some trailers and they said, I am tired, I'm not going up in the gooseneck, and I'm not gonna try to vacuum out all the little pieces of sawdust that get up in that carpet. So they went with this, and we said, man, that is the way to go. So we actually incorporated on a lot of our inventory. Over to the left, so I showed you where that plug is for the 30 amp cord. It comes into this 30 amp package right here. So we've got our breaker here. This trailer is equipped with power and some outlets. So there's an outlet right here if you want to just, you know, plug in, charge up a phone, anything like that. We also have the converter on here as well. So when you're plugged in, it's going to charge up that battery and keeping that guy nice and full. Frame for an air conditioner. All their front tack rooms are just standard framed for that. So if you ever wanted to add an air conditioner, you have the 30 amp power package, so that's already accounted for. But if you wanted to do like a 12 volt vent or a manual crank, you know, camper style vent, it's all the same footprint. That piece of it's already done. Over here on the driver's side, we did a shelf. It's 18 inches deep, has a 2-inch lip, and then also has a clothes bar underneath it. So again, like I was saying, you know, when you're traveling, going to a show, you might need to, you're actually showing off the trailer. You can use this as a changing room. You're not tying up the back seat of a pickup with all your hanging clothes. It's a good place for those to set in here, keeping things nice and organized. We did 2 more lights. There's one on that partition wall you saw, and then one right here at the door going in and out. That way, when you're going in and out of this trailer itself, you're gonna have plenty of light in that front tack room. On the tack door, you're gonna have a combo lock. So you don't necessarily have to lock this guy right here. If you don't lock that paddle latch and you just lock the combo lock, somebody can run to the trailer, not necessarily have to have the key, just punch in the code and you turn it. If this guy is locked, you're still gonna need the key, but those combo locks are really popular just from, hey, who has the keys? We don't have to keep track of all those at a show. Just send somebody to the trailer, lock and unlock. That fold up step is that easy to operate. It's just on a gas shock. And then this trailer is the charcoal metallic sheeting. White is standard. If you want to go to one, this is probably the most popular color right now, is the charcoal metallic. There's a silver metallic, black. You can do fully polished. You can do custom colors. You can do whatever you want. We don't necessarily do a lot of graphics on our inventory trailers because we don't know what the color of your pickup is or your favorite, you know, college that you want to support or anything like that. You want to design them, figure out the colors, you can do that. 16-inch awning light above that tack door, so we have light coverage there. Upgraded to a few extra button lights on the top rail, really dress this trailer up at night. Definitely a nice option there. Then we have our side ramp. So this one here, because it's the LX model, you're gonna get your side ramp so you can work off the back or off the side of this trailer. This is a really fantastic option when you are showing off this, being able to maneuver off of the trailer multiple ways, depending on where you get parked, depending on where the shade is, anything like that. You're gonna have your gate over the opening. I've got the escape door open on the other side. There's a gate over there. But that way we can really open this trailer up, get a lot of airflow throughout it if we're just even parked at a show. You can drop this guy. Animals, you don't have to worry about them trying to get out with the gate over the opening itself. LX model standard, you're gonna get your drop windows. So this is the standard option here. You can upgrade to the big heavy duty feed drop doors that they make that are kind of more in line with their horse trailers, but this is kind of the most popular option as far as these are concerned. You're gonna be able to drop these guys. There's jail bars, these will drop as well. If you kind of need to manipulate some airflow, you know, you can shut these guys up. It's a bus window, so these slide open. So again, you've got a lot of flexibility as far as, you know, how much airflow you really get in and out of these trailers. And then the lower air gap, instead of doing plexiglass, We like to upgrade to the aluminum fold-up slot, because look, that's how easy that is to operate. I can shut this up or open it up that quick. So you leave on these cool mornings. I mean, today we're, 40, and then we'll be up to mid 70s today. You might leave in the morning, it's really cold, you want it all sealed up. It warms up during the day traveling, you want to drop them. Instead of stopping and going, okay, now we got to pull all the plexiglass out, we got to put it away, or reverse that order by putting it in, you can stop somewhere really quick and literally walk around this trailer, and within a minute you can have everything dropped, you're back in the truck and going. This airflow down low is really important. These small animals, that's where we need to get it. So again, we can really manipulate the airflow with all these different options of, drop windows up high, bus windows, lower vents. I'll show you the roof vents when we get on the inside. Amber turn signal. This is a feature we really like to put on our inventory on these 8-foot wide, longer trailers, because our taillights are long ways, at the back of the trailer in the truck. So, people don't really pay attention to the trailer, world as much. So we like to have that amber turn signal. It'll indicate when you put your turn signals on, when you hit your brakes, and it works as an additional marker light. It's nice and big. You can really see it. So definitely a nice feature there that we like on this. Okay, 2 7,000-pound Dexter rubber torsion axles. We have electric brakes on this guy, so you need your integrated brake controller or aftermarket. This guy here is equipped with a 16-inch black and silver aluminum wheel, and then we upgraded to a 14-ply tire. 10 is standard. On these bigger trailers, we like to just bump them up a little bit, so you've actually got a 14-ply underneath this guy. You have a 1-year, no questions asked warranty on these tires. So if you hit road debris, if you have a blowout, you catch road damage, no questions asked, they'll replace them for free for you. And that is from its purchase date. All right, here at the back, you're gonna notice the doors. The doors are wrapped around. We have did that a few years ago, doing the wraparound style, just because when you're showing off of this, it's nice to get those doors kind of to the side of the trailer. We understand a lot of you are gonna be parked really close together. We just noticed it at the show with the welded hinges. These doors come off at a 90, and I was watching people open and close those all the time, letting people go by. So we went ahead and did the wraparound. That's now standard on these guys. It's nice to get them, again, to the side of the trailer and out of the way. They're independent doors, so one ahead of the other. They're 50-50 with it being 8 wide. And then on their rear ramp, there's a couple different options. You can do a full width ramp that's solid all the way across. It can be a little bit heavy for, again, those younger juniors. So this guy here is gonna have the 50-50 rear ramps. Since it's split, it's really easy to operate, really easy to get up and down, nice big spring on them. So again, making it really easy for the kids, or if you got stuff in your hand, to lower or close these. 2 16-inch awning lights at the top rail. So we have light coverage back here. And then on our tail lights, notice that kind of white looking X. That is actually a backup light. So again, 28.3 on the floor, truck's a long ways away, backup lights on the truck are almost worthless at this point. So those guys there, when you throw it in reverse, will light up. So you get home late at night, you pull into a show somewhere, a parking lot at the hotel, go to unhook this guy, you're unfamiliar, you need some light coverage, those guys there will all indicate when you throw it into reverse. All right, so let's jump into this stall area. First thing, we've hinged these rear gates off the side posts. It just flows and functions so much better than coming off the center post itself. But then as we work our way in, so this one here is gonna be the 60-40 setup to 50-50. So these are the adjustable pins. So as you can kind of see, like we have 50-50 to 60-40, 50-50, 60-40, 60-40. So we can really manipulate the size of these stalls if we want, each pin. If you want to create an alleyway, you can open these guys up, and they are so easy to actually function. So all I have to do is unpin it, I pull it out, slide it over, lock it into place, and that's it. The original ones, we had to unpin, we had to move them, line everything up, repin them. This is one-handed operation. I give Cimarron a lot of credit. They really try to put a lot of emphasis on that. We're usually carrying stuff or making it really easy to maneuver these. That's how simple it is to be able to swap these gates around. This is a fantastic setup. It's really easy to operate. If you wanted to take sections out, we do have some customers that'll occasionally say, hey, I need to throw a steer or a heifer on this trailer. You can take a section out and then get it out of the way. In this instance here, you've got on the right-hand side, we've actually hinged those, so there's a little bit of a build out off the wall, and then hinge those gates on the right-hand side, and then everything else comes off the center post itself. But this, just over the years, these trailers, when you're working on or off with the animals, the flow is so much better by having that hinge on that side of the trailer rather than that gate being hinged off the center. So, you know, it's just us figuring stuff out over the years too, trying to constantly improve them. But you can pull sections out if you want. It's really a good idea to know where each one is when you actually go to unpin them. So, you know, whether it's like a Sharpie or something like that, just kind of writing the number on them, sequencing them back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and working your way back. That way, you know, when they go to back in, it's that easy to go ahead and reinstall them. So we have the two-way roof vents. So again, more airflow, being able to manipulate that. You can force air down, you can release air out, you can create a vacuum by swapping these guys around. So we've got a ton of them. There are 10 of them on this trailer. So kind of at the front section of each pin, there's gonna have 2 of them. So one over each pin itself. You're gonna have a standard insulated roof. That makes a massive difference, especially in these trailers. So whether it's this trailer, a bumper pull, a big living quarters, cattle trailer, whatever, they all have the same roof. So it's a 1/2 inch thick, it's reinforced. It's got an R3 thermal value, gel coating. I know I just threw a lot at you. Here's the bottom line. You can walk on it and it won't dent it. It takes 150 pounds per square foot, so it's really strong, takes substantial hail. More importantly is it keeps this stall area 20% cooler than aluminum sheeted roofs. This is a shorter trailer, heat rises. Not as big of a deal on this. It keeps it 20% cooler by having this roof, so that's standard. If you wanted to add another air conditioner back here, you could. You're not gonna have the power to do 2 of them off of that 30 amp breaker package and run them all at the same time. You would have to upgrade, add another one on there if you wanted 2 ACs, but if you want to do an air conditioner, again, 12 volt vent, whatever you wanted, framed here as well. So we've got it framed for both areas for you. So you have flexibility if you ever wanted to add that down the road. It makes a big difference though by having this roof, the drop windows, the lower air gaps. I mean, these trailers stay really cool as they are. Okay, we'll look up at the front tack, or the front ramp there, right behind the front tack. You're gonna notice we put a head pad there. You're gonna notice some switches over there to the right. So those switches there are for the interior lights, and then that light on driver or passenger side of this trailer. That way, when you walk into this trailer, I don't necessarily have to go to the back to turn these lights on in here. So if I just wanted to work on and off that way, there is switches at the back. But then notice outlets. So there's outlets throughout this trailer. So over there on that top rail on the right side, there's 3 of them spaced evenly. You're gonna notice this rod up there too, that rail. So that way, when you're wanting to actually mix up feed pans or you're grabbing feed pans, you know, you're usually doing other stuff when you're back here too. So you can actually unclip with your carabiners, with your feeders, turn around and lock them right up there. Go do what you need to, come back, move them. But that's been a really popular option as well by having that storage up there. And flip to the driver's side, more outlets. So 3 of those as well. One in the middle, one towards the back, one towards the front. But then you're gonna notice on these roof bows, some more airliner track. So that way, if you wanted to add like a 18-inch fan, 12-inch fan, something along those lines, you don't wanna go to the 24s. They're just, they hang down too far, especially when we're dealing with these pins. But these guys here, you can actually lock in your fans into these and plug them in and run fans as you're traveling, having that generator or at a show, whatever you want there. I've seen some customers equip like a heater as well that just plug in. So when you're traveling in winter months, you can actually hang those guys right here and have heat. So a lot of flexibility. We tried doing them on a couple different roof bows. That way you have some flexibility moving them where you want. Okay, on the pins as well, we opted on this one here. So standard is a 37.5 inch tall gate from the floor. These guys here are 31.5. These have become more popular again, just from the ability to reach over, you know, when you're bedded and grabbing feed pans or anything like that. You know, this guy isn't 6 inches taller. It makes it really hard for people to reach over from pin to pin. So that's definitely a nice feature there by having them a little bit shorter. Okay, so aluminum on the floor. We don't like rubber mats because a hog will root them up, you know, with all these cutouts, with all these posts. It's like a puzzle getting it back in, and it is a puzzle you don't even want to attempt. It's really hard getting them back in here when you pull them out to clean it. So on these trailers here, the really popular options is how it is and just bed really well, or upgrading and adding worm flooring, which is a permanent unpenetrable rubber mat, so we don't have to worry about pulling it in and out. It is cheaper to do early on when it's brand new rather than after the fact. Might be a little bit more per square foot if it's used, but that is an option for you as well. So a lot going on in here in the stall area. As we exit here at the back, some head pads as well for you. Again, those switches are right here at the back corner, so I can turn different sides of the trailer on and different lights. Okay, over here on driver's side, I'll just shut some of this up as we work forward. That way you can get a good look and appreciate that polished stainless extrusion. Again, it's a good look to this trailer with that charcoal. It's a really popular option. You've got an access door over here on driver's side as well, with a window in it, just a bus window. So again, you can open that guy up, get your airflow there. There's that fold up step, making it really easy. And then again, there's a good look at that polished extrusion with the charcoal metallic black sheeting. So what a really cool and well-equipped Cimarron Showstar LX 10-pin with a big front tack room. I'm going to give you the reference number, the stock number on it for reference. That way, if you call in, you can say, hey, that's the trailer I'm looking at, or I love that one. You know, I'd like to duplicate it, maybe a couple little changes. 5N240992. So we do take trade-ins. So if you're looking to upgrade, downsize, we can help you there. Financing is available and delivery is a possibility as well. So we could potentially bring this to your doorstep. So give us a call. Anybody on the sales team can help you out. That number is 303-684-3400. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a good day.